What's going on? Welcome back to the Harwood Rundown podcast. It's your boy Lockie, and it's your boy
It's your boy
Jack,
Jack.
aka Schnookums Mushrooms.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
and we're doing the Western Conference of our preseason uh previews or predictions. We're doing the Northwest Division with the Nuggets, the Wolves, Thunder, Blazers, and Jazz. Kind of the most boring group, but we'll get out the way. Again, our criteria we're looking at is MVP, impact player, rising star, and projected record. And yeah, let's start with the Wolves. Who you got MVP, we can kind of already.
Oh, is it? I don't know. Who have you
Oh,
got?
oh my God.
Who have you
And
got?
I don't think
Yeah.
I think Cat's hit his ceiling. Ants
Yeah.
got a fucking, what do you mean?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I know what you like with your some of your picks are a little bit rogue sometimes, so I wasn't sure.
Join the
Um,
podcast.
yeah, I've gone Ant. This is the last year where he'll be playing for the Wolves. If they don't go deep, I think he'll request a trade after this year. I feel like that's kind of common knowledge. He switched his number from 1 to 5, so I don't know if that
Did you?
changes. Yeah, he swapped with Kyle Anderson. Um, yeah, so I expect a huge year, huge like an MVP type year. If he has a big year, the Wolves will go deep. I know he had a big year last year, but he's going to take it to the next level. Like when you get that feeling, you just know that he's going to do it, right? He's that type of player where he's always going to take it to that next level. I really feel like Rudy's going to have a good year. I honestly believe that. I feel like they're gonna. That first season last year was a little bit rocky,
Yeah,
but I feel like a whole season together with those three together. I know Cat was out for majority of the season, but
true.
I feel like the second year is always kind of where you see how it really is going.
Mm.
Um, so I actually do expect the Wolves to have a better year this year. Um, and I have gone quite high on the win total, which we'll get to later. Impact player, I've gone Nas Reed. I just feel like that.
Yes, I
I
fucking
just feel
had
like that.
Nas Reed. Oh,
I just
actually,
feel
no,
like
yeah.
that bench unit is dependent on his scoring ability and his rim protection. I feel like he could have easily gone somewhere else this off season and got like a starting role.
Mm.
This is the best place for him. I really feel. I really feel like the Wolves are the best place for him.
Wow.
Gives him the entire bench unit to lead. He knows that if Cat gets injured, he's back in the starting lineup, or he's getting more minutes. I'm really expecting a big year. 15 off the bench isn't that much of a stretch. I really feel like he can average that.
Mm.
And yeah, he's that type of player. His impact on the bench unit alone. Imagine if they ran with a lineup of like Nas, Cat, Jaden McDaniels, Slow Mo, and Ant. Oh my god. That would
Big,
be like
yeah,
the
big
The
lineup.
Cavs in like 2021 when they had that big like 7 foot lineup.
Mm.
They really can run with that this year though. Similar to kind of the Jazz, how they've got this big man presence now. Um, and yeah, I just really expect a huge year out of him. Who's I'm assuming is that who you've got as well.
Yeah, well, I had Cat as my impact player. Obviously
Mm,
MVP Anthony Edwards. I had Rising Star Nas Reed because I feel like he's got much more to give. Impact
mm,
player Rising Star was kind of like toying up between. They don't really
yeah,
have like a young project um who's like raw or like they're trying to like develop, but obviously Ant, but like we know where he's going to, and like we can see that his ceiling's getting bigger. But yeah, definitely
yeah,
Nuts Reed. Yeah, he really stepped up. Like it's very rare that like the big man off the bench is able to step up in the way that he was able to, and still help them get to the playoffs.
mm,
Um, Still like played a pivotal role in that. But yeah, I agree. I think last year for Ant, I think he understands. I think he's mature enough to understand that, like, like I'm not going to waste my time here.
yeah,
His value will be at an all-time high if he stays healthy and keeps doing what he's doing. So, perfect. Actually, a really good like season for him. Even if he doesn't do well, even if they don't do well, there's no pressure on him because he's come into a not a great situation anyway, and has a
yeah.
very odd lineup. Having Kyle Anderson to play with is always interesting, and then
I know.
having Rudy and Cat, yeah, it's interesting. So I also had Jed McDaniels as kind of like a impact player because just of overall what he's able to do.
Yeah.
And but yeah, no, I got 37 wins. I see them declining. I
Oh, okay.
I, I kind of forgot about how Cat's injury impacted the team, but I do think that there's nah,
Yeah.
nothing really
Uh,
excites me. I don't know.
I can see why. I can see why. I'm big on them this year. I'm not sure. I'm actually really not sure why. If you asked me like a week ago, I'd probably say no. I really don't know what's changed my mind.
Hmm.
Rising star gone Shake Milton. I think that I feel like he's gone out of a system
Shake
in
Milton.
Philly. I know he's come out of a system in Philly where he's like not used a whole lot. I feel like Minnesota can use more scoring. I feel like that was. I know the defense is still a bit of an issue, but I feel like they really need someone to rely on besides Cat and besides Ant. Um, I also really think Nas Reed can compete for six man of the year. I really think
Mm.
that's not. I'm big on him. Like honestly, I've gone. This might be one of the calls of the year, and I might be entirely wrong. I might be the most wrong person in the world. I want 48 wins. I really,
Holy fuck!
I really think that they can go deep. Not deep, maybe like a second round exit. I don't know why. I think they're going to perform in the regular season. They've got the 1 year under the belt with the experiment between Cat and Rudy. They've
Wow,
got these pieces. They brought back Nas Reed. Ant's going to have a 30-point per game year. Like I'm just so big on them. I don't know why.
they're
Like I
still
said,
yeah,
if you asked me a week ago, I would have said probably not. But I'm big on the
yeah,
Wolves this year. Shout out to Jeff Turner.
yeah.
Huge on
Shout
them.
out Jeff Turner, what a legend.
Not that he ever listens.
No,
So
no,
yeah,
they're
I feel like
solid. They're not horrible, and I like
yeah.
Alexander Walker off the bench, Jordan McLaughlin. Like they're still got some guys who can compete. But
I
wow,
really think
48.
I really think they improved off last year. And I think last year they got like 40, maybe, something like that. So I think they can definitely be better. They'll have a whole season together, barring injuries. I feel like it can work. I really feel like it can work. Um, Next up, I want to get this one out of the way. I kind of want to do the Blazers.
Mm.
I feel like I've got two different scenarios here for each award. Um, so I've got with Dame, without Dame.
Yeah,
I think we should run with Dame first, and then we'll go without. With Dame, Dame's my MVP, impact player. I've gone Shaden Sharp. Um,
yes.
he's going to get a much bigger role if he's there. Even if Dame's there or not there, doesn't matter. He'll get a much bigger role. Rising star, Scoot Henderson, obviously.
Mm.
And then I've gone 40 and under with Dame. I really don't
Mm.
see them doing much because they will be developing a lot
Yeah,
because they're obviously trying to plan for the future with or without Dame there. So, yeah.
yeah. Um, I put yeah. Well, I've already considered Dame's gone, so I put Jamie Grant.
Yeah.
Um, I think overall, and then I also put Grant as my impact player. Um, Again, overall, like he was able. It's interesting. He was able to play like such a just like a role player role, like especially with the Thunder, just being a floor stretcher and like defensive
Yeah.
specialist, which was great because he didn't have to. And now he's developed an offensive game. And so he's had that underdog mentality and like do the little things. And now he's got a
Hmm.
bigger role. Signed a huge contract. But
Yeah. Huge.
um, yeah, I think he's great. And he's a great I think for young like forwards coming up, they can see like if they are able to play that role he's been able to play, like all it kind of takes is 1 year to really show a bit of skills elsewhere, show a bit more of
Yeah.
footwork and your jump shot and your scoring ability. Um, Honestly, like I think he will be a good kind of yeah for upcoming forwards to be like yeah actually wow I can actually give myself a good deal and still compete on a team because Blazers
Yeah.
it's like with I still think with Dane they can compete, but obviously that's on paper. With all the shit going on, they're not going to compete. And they're trading him anyway. But yeah, I think he's going to be there for the long haul, I assume. So,
Yeah.
yeah, he's great. And yeah, Rising Star got Scoot or Shaden Sharp, but obviously Scoot,
Yeah.
he's the main guy.
Mm.
He's fucked. He's
It's crazy.
he's great.
Crazy. Without Dame, I've gone Scoot as my MVP, and then I've gone Jeremy Grant as my impact. I feel like those can interchange. I
Mm.
feel like when Scoot gets there, it's going to be his team. So that's the only reason why I've like gone MVP. It's not based on really talent or how he plays.
Mm.
Impact player, yeah, Jeremy Grant. I feel like the veteran presence. Him and Nurkic probably the two impact players for me, just in terms of helping the young ones grow. And then rising star, I've gone Shaden Sharp and 36 and under on my wins. I really don't. 36 is a stretch with that team without Dame.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
um, yeah. I'm trying to think of who we should
I
do.
got 30 for them anyway.
Oh, without Dame. Okay, yeah. I feel like
Well,
30
yeah,
would
without that,
probably.
yeah.
I feel like that's probably the more
Yeah.
realistic number. Um, Utah. Now, I'm actually quite excited for Utah because I feel like they're going to take the Cleveland approach from 2021 and kind of roll with Larry Markkinen as their small forward this year.
Mm.
And you saw the production from when he played at that position in Cleveland. The production was so much better than obviously in Chicago. I feel like John Collins there as well gives you that lob threat outside of Walker Kessler,
Mm.
gives you a bit more of an offensive game that can stretch. I'm not saying Larry can stretch the floor. It gives Walker Kessler space, but now you've got two reliable offensive players so that Walker Kessler can kind of be that defensive anchor like he was last year and just overall improve.
Mm.
So yeah, Larry's my MVP. Is he yours as well?
No.
Oh,
I got Jordan
okay.
Clarkson.
Oh shit. Okay, all good.
Yeah, I think I think for games I've watched, what he contributes, he is an MVP type of thing. Like
Okay.
what he's able to do offensively is the MVP of the Jazz, in my opinion. And then I had Colin Sexton as my like impact player. But like I'm not sleeping on Larry Markin, and he's just a
Uh,
good. I feel like
I mean, he was an all-star. Yeah.
yeah, I'm still yeah. He's obviously like the best player on the team, but I think just MVP wise, who's going to be the most important player on this team in terms of a scorer, facilitator, and like a leader. I think yeah, Jordan Clarkson. But yeah, I don't know.
Questionable. Impact player. I've gone John Collins. New
Yeah.
scenery, new city, new team. I feel like he kind of had 2 or 3 poor years. Well, maybe 2. I feel like he had a good year in like 2021, but
Mm.
yeah, he's kind of dropped off a little bit. Wasn't getting as much of a role as he was getting before the last 2 years. So I feel like a new space, new city is probably what he needs. Rising star Walker Kessler. He was like defensive player of the year discussions last year as a
Mm.
rookie. That's pretty insane. I feel like he's going to have another productive big year this year on the defensive end. And who's your rising star?
Yeah, Walker Kessler.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Really solid, and it was crazy to see the difference between him and Rudy after
Mm,
he was like packaged in that trade.
yeah.
But yeah, it's got to be him. And I got 38. I think like
Yeah.
up and down improvement.
I've gone 40. I think
Yeah,
40 is like where I really see them. They had an unbelievable start to the year last year, and then just you kind of see them drop off.
mm.
One of the most exciting young cores in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've got a big year coming up.
Oh yeah,
I'm expecting some awards out of this team this year, some personal individual awards.
yeah.
Um, yeah, let's go with your MVP. Let's just go. You can take the floor for this one, then I'll go. So I'm
Okay.
interested.
Shea MVP
Yeah,
has to be impact player. I got Josh Giddey for everything that he provides. Uh, rising star Chet Holmgren. There's
yeah.
nothing
We've
really
picked the
crazy
same
about
players.
any of my picks. Actually, I'm gonna change it. I was at 44. I'm gonna give him like 47. I think
So
I could.
you're expecting a big jump this year.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I think a genuine big jump. Because think about it. Like you've got
They were close last year to making the playoffs. So
yeah,
yeah, I
and
can see
I
it.
said this in a previous episode. Like they are a hungry team. They're not. They're playing well above what we're expecting them
They're
to
like
play.
Memphis from 2 years ago, a year
Yeah,
ago, when you know they had that. They're like the young people, the young boys on the block. Like any team
Yeah,
like that has the youth can do that.
they're super solid, and they're a team for the future in terms of you've got a big man in Chet who's able to do everything that he's able to do, and then you've got a Josh Giddey who's able to do what he's able to do. Defensively, they're going to become a nightmare. Chet put on a bit of weight, and like Lou Dort as well.
Yeah, they've got
And
so
they're
much.
great. They've got a great energy, great like attitudes. I think this will be a great year. I
Yeah.
think um I think in OKC, like they've done a good job always of like juggling egos. Like KD, Russ, and Harden, that worked, regardless of the egos they had. Um, it just worked. And it
Yeah.
felt hard, obviously, but it just worked. And they've got all these young egos now, but they're just a very team oriented thing. Their bench is really solid. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I actually do think a big year, maybe like 45 to 47.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that. Yeah. What
Yeah.
about you?
I got Shea as my MVP. Impact player, I've gone Chet Holmgren only because they didn't have the big man presence really last year, and I feel like they're finally
Yeah.
going to have that 7'1" giant that can kind of do it all on both ends. Rising star, I've gone Josh Giddey and Jalen Williams with the E. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, big season from both. I've got Josh Giddey as my most improved player, currently at $19 on Ladbrokes. Gamble responsibly.
Yeah.
I I've gone 44. 44 I think is like the sweet spot for for their ceiling. I feel like 45, 46, like you said, like I agree with that. Like that could probably be where they land. Um they were really good last year. They didn't they didn't necessarily get blown out really bad in some of their losses. Um I feel like they're in every game. They beat the Nuggets like 3 times during the regular season, and
Hmm.
they won the championship this year. So, they really got some dogs on that team. One thing though, I really wish they kept Patty Mills because I know they traded for him and then they traded him away. That development for not only Giddy but the rest of the team, that would have been really, like, unbelievable.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, just would have given Josh that mentor, I think. That kind of OKC lacks a little bit because they're obviously the youngest team in the league. They don't have
Yeah.
all the vets. I feel like Patty would have been good to keep. Um, we've actually gone through this episode really quickly, and I feel like this Nuggets team. I don't think we're going to spend too much time on it. I'm big on them going back to back this year. I'm big on them going back to back.
Wow.
I don't think this was the swan song last year. I don't think it was. Um, MVP, obviously, Nikola Jokic. Impact player, going Jamal Murray. The dude shows up when it matters. I don't have much more else to say about Jamal Murray. Rising star, there needs to be a Bruce Brown replacement, and his last name's Brown, but it's spelled differently. Christian Brown, 100%. He's gonna 100% step into that Bruce Brown role. He has that dog in him. He had a huge, he had kind of an under the radar year, but every time he came on the floor, every time he got onto the floor, every yeah. Anyways, every time he played, he gave it 100% effort,
Hmm.
killed it on both ends of the floor. I've gone 60, which is
Wow. 60.
yeah, bro. Yes, sir.
Actually, no, that's not too far
I'm
fetched.
pretty sure we gave similar to like Boston,
Yeah. Yeah.
something
Nah,
like Boston or Milwaukee. I think.
that's fair.
I
And
feel like they're on that level. They're the back to back. They're the back to back. They're the defending champs. I don't see them regressing. I really don't think so.
that's fair. And I'm pretty. Wasn't Jamal still injured a bit last year though?
Yeah, he only came back like December or something.
Yeah, that's right. That's fair. And like they had 53 wins last year, coming off a title.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I can see that. And that was the general thing. Everyone, when it came to Nuggets in the playoffs, like no one's beating them.
yeah.
That
No,
aura
they
itself is
lost.
enough.
They lost like 1 or 2 home games in the whole series.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Um, yeah, maybe. Okay. Um,
No.
Yeah, Nuggets. I just overall love the process that they took. Like when they drafted, they had Nurkic, and then they drafted Jokic, and then I do remember people being like, "Nah, like why are we giving minutes to Jokic?" Or like,
Yeah.
why we trade Nurkic in this whole thing? Because like he's already established whatnot. Holy
Yeah.
shit, that was crazy. That changed. And what they've put surround Jokic is like perfect.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh my goodness. Having Aaron Gordon, like a gold decision that was.
Yeah.
Um
He's going to have a bigger
it's
year as well this year, I reckon. I really feel like he's going to have a bigger year.
yeah, he can he perfectly complements like what they're doing in the system. It kind of really well because like he was with Orlando but didn't really, find his role and switch between power forward and small forward. But like here he has no pressure to like get the ball and do something because he just has
Yeah.
everything around him for it to work. But then he still gets that opportunity to post up and he's taken more of a focal role like defensively. Like he
Mm.
was great defensively in the playoffs. Um, Michael Porter Jr., although he doesn't pass, plays his role
He's a bucket.
in
Don't bother
this.
boxing out. Don't
Yeah,
bother
no,
boxing out. That shit going in every time.
he's a fucking gun. Yeah, okay. MVP Jokic, impact player, I got Aaron Gordon. I think just based on the attitude I've seen him progress with, rising star. Is it Braun or Brown? Because I've
Christian
heard
Brown.
commentators Chris Brown.
It's Christian Brown. Yeah, Chris Brown. Yeah.
Yeah, say Brown.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen nothing but good stuff from him, and I had 55 for my wins. I'm not so strong on like a re on a repeat. Um,
I feel like a lot of teams have gotten better,
yeah,
but the Nuggets have now built that foundation. They've won the chip. They've kept the same team pretty much besides Bruce Brown.
true.
Yeah, I really feel like they can go back to back. They should probably be the favorites going into next year.
They definitely will be favorites, but I don't think anyone gets anything right.
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
very true.
Oh, you know what? But nah, but like without injuries, this I'm
I've got you
bouncing
thinking now.
between.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
I'm bouncing between. I hate it.
I'm trying to look at the odds for next year.
Without injuries, okay, yeah. No, to be fair, without injuries, I
Yeah,
don't see any
they are the
team
favorites.
beating them. I could see the Bucks beating them.
Yeah, Bucks are
I,
third favorites.
I think Bucks are the only team where I feel like they could really outlast a full series because of
Mm.
the fact that they've won recently, um, and not the Warriors because it's not.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
I
I
wouldn't
don't think
say
so.
the year
I really
before was
don't
a
think so.
fluke, but nah, no,
I
no,
really don't think so.
just won't work. Especially two different teams the way they are, it won't work.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
The odds
shit.
are very spread out though. Denver are the favorite, $6. Boston $6.50. Milwaukee and Phoenix on $7. Golden State $9. Miami $10. Both LA teams $15.
Wow.
It's pretty tight up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pause.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Jeez.
Well, we've wrapped that up. Great. Next one we'll do Southwest, which will be one of the better ones. And then we'll finish off with the Pacific in a fortnight. Super keen. Super happy with how these episodes are going. Really enjoy it. But yeah, Rocky, let's go to the pub.
Yeah, we're actually going to the pub straight after this. So
Fan meet and greet.
yeah, meet at Highfields at 6 o'clock. See us
Yeah.
there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Thanks for listening to everybody. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
All that good stuff.
We'll see you in the next one.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
This shit crazy. Navy.